Hey, welcome back to Drink with the Fat Guys. George Sean here with Big Fat Will, and we are drinking beers tonight in the hot tub from Yee-Haw Brewing Company out of Johnston City, Tennessee. And we're pretty close to that. We're on the very northeast corner of the Alabama border, hanging out right there near Tennessee, Georgia, all right, and of course Alabama. And we are looking forward to this round because they all look delicious. We'll start with this 80. Then we'll move on to the Pale Ale, and then we will finish up with this IPA. So stick around for good times in the hot tub. All right, let's start with this 80. Of course, 80 is a 80 shilling style. It's a that goes back to English style brewing, where things were based on alcohol content and the export tax or tax associated with the beer. This should be a relatively malty beer. I'm excited.
Yeah.
It is definitely darker. Dark.
Yeah.
Got some head on it though.
A little bit.
Alright, and it's definitely malty.
Not as malty as expected,
But no hop aroma.
no
hop aroma at all.
no hop, no. Huh. It's almost got a smoky flavor to it.
Yeah, it's like a malty and smoky flavor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's a sweet malt to it, but then there's that smoky back to it.
Yeah.
And okay, so a little history, guys, on the shilling concept. So again, if you go back to English brewing, what you had was different levels of tax, and they would actually label it. So you'd have like 50 shilling, 60 shilling, 80 shilling was frankly the more expensive of the beers. And when you were brewing, your 80 shilling one would be your first run off of the sparge, which is when you're running through and knocking all that sweet wort off so you can brew that first batch. It probably would have been the strongest of the beers, and it would have been definitely the most flavorful of the beers. Yeah. Then the next one would have happened, the next one, and 80 shilling was definitely the most expensive. And so you often found that in an export strength. And the reason that it was an export is because then it would leave the country and that would be somebody else's expense. It wouldn't necessarily be attached to the beer that your beer would be so expensive. So yeah. This is probably a pretty strong beer. Let's see if we got the answer.
I believe this one wasn't. I believe this was around the 6% or maybe. Let me see, I saw it before.
No, it's only 5%.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, 80 shilling Scottish style ale. 20 IBUs, which is why there's no hop presence.
Yeah.
I mean, there's always hops in beer, don't get me wrong. Well, most beer. But nonetheless, the bitterness is almost non-existent.
Yeah.
It's all malt. This is, again, 5%. By their standards would have been strong at the time, but I'm sure that it's just an interesting name now. But
yeah,
it's actually nice. Again, it's a really pleasant beer.
Yeah.
I like it.
I like it too.
But again, it's a change from your typical IPAs and pale ales. You got hop flavor. It's a nice malty, and again, that hint of smoke,
yeah,
which is definitely from the kiln. So
good start, Yee-Haw.
Good stop. All right, now on to this pale ale.
Huh.
It's a darker pale ale.
Yeah, what I
like
expected,
a
yeah.
amber color, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know, but it's a kind of a sweet, maybe almost like a hint of apple, maybe. Malt,
Maybe, yeah.
Malt, and it smells crisp.
Maybe it is apple.
Yeah.
Interesting flavor.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
okay, so you taste a lot of the malt, not so much hop. Now, pale ale technically should be hoppy. Not like an IPA hoppy, but it should be hoppy.
Yeah.
And so I would say that it's a little maltier than I expected.
Yeah, that's probably why it has the darker, more amber color.
But it clings, and I think it's because it's mostly malty.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't cling too much, but it does. I mean, there's definitely like an aftertaste there. Let's go get some wings. Ooh, like some barbecue wings or something.
Something with some real flavor.
Yeah.
Because it has to overpower that clean kind of malty.
Yeah.
But you're right. This might be a great wing beer because it's a supplement.
Yeah.
You know, so IPAs are always a good wing beer. Why? Because it cuts through the heat.
Yeah.
But this might just be a good supplemental beer.
Yeah.
So not trying to cut through it, but actually back up the wings instead of the opposite.
Yeah. I think the maltiness makes it so like a sweeter type of wing, like I said, like a barbecue or something like that would go good with it. Something
Honey
maybe
teriyaki,
yeah.
you know, right?
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah. Well, it's not bad.
Yeah.
All right, now we're going to move on to this IPA. Reasonably strong. Does it say 6.7?
I think so.
Alright.
Yeah.
It's kind of orangish.
Hazy.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. Maybe a,
Good smell.
yeah,
Aroma. Yeah.
maybe a little tropical. It's not a strong, like, New England style tropical.
Yeah. It's a hoppy tropical.
Yeah.
Huh. It has some bitterness that hits the back of your tongue. That lingers for a second.
Yeah, so it's there's a bitterness,
Yeah.
an unpleasant bitterness.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
there is a nice malty, slightly dank
Yeah, definitely a dank
flavor in the
piney, yeah.
background. Yeah.
I mean, for a standard IPA, I'm not quite sure.
I'd like to know what else they have because when you have IPA number 1, this is the standard IPA your brewery's producing.
Yeah.
I expect it not to be so dank.
Yeah, you expect a more generic IPA, and then people can buy up to the specialties.
Yeah. So I'm curious what else they have because if you think about it, this is
This is a specialty one. Like,
yeah,
it takes a certain palate.
yeah, and we should have known it was going to be dank. Yeah. So
Yeah, I can't say I'm a fan. I mean, it's not terrible. It's just not what I expected from a
flagship.
Yeah, flagship IPA. Yes, that's all I can say.
So this has been an interesting beer tasting. I like this malty 80.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a go-to, but it was a good flavor, and it's something I liked it. Yeah, it's
It
different.
was different than what you're getting on the market right now.
Yeah,
The pale was pretty decent too.
yeah,
The IPA, again, we talked about not being the best flagship IPA.
yeah, but it was too bitter, too dank for me for a flagship.
But nonetheless, Yee-Haw has been a nice tasting.
Yeah,
Tennessee's been good to us here with these beers. I definitely recommend you check out Yee-Haw.
yeah, I would too.
Yeah.
And they do have what is it? Maybe 5 more, 4 or 5
They
more
got a
different.
series.
Yeah.
of them. Yeah, we looked it up on the internet, and they've got a series.
Yeah.
And so we're gonna have to find our way up to Johnson City
Yeah.
and drink some beer. Well, thanks for hanging out with us.
Thank you.
If you enjoy the hot tub, give us a thumbs up.